So a quick update on the patch, guys. Since I cleaned it all out at the end of summer, today's July 3rd, well into our winter crops. I tend to grow a lot of this stuff in our winter time. Maybe it grows slower, but it still grows well. I don't have to. I'm not dealing with the cabbage moth or really any kind of pest issues. I don't have problems with slugs or snails. So that's a bonus. If you've got problems with slugs and snails at your place, you're going to find it difficult in the winter time. But I do like winter time growing because I don't have to water. And as I said, there's no pest damage really to worry about. But I'll give you a quick update. This is all silver beet or chard. All through here. Been picking at it. We've been eating a lot of it. The chickens have been eating a lot of it. I need to come out and have a clean up. A lot of these old leaves. Lots of weeding to do. Catch up on that probably next week. That's all charred in there. Over here we've got weeds and more weeds. I didn't really have a plan for this bed. I decided to put in some late kohlrabi and I just direct sowed it. Where are we? Direct sowed it. I put toilet roll holders, cardboard around them just so that I wouldn't lose the seed as it came up, because I knew I was competing with all these weeds, so I know where they are. And yeah, these guys they're getting their true leaves now. As their true leaves are coming, they're ready for me to separate, clear out this bed with these weeds, divide up these kohlrabi seedlings, and they can have this bed. That has to come out or moved, actually. That came from this. This is what was it? A basil mint. No, I haven't cooked with it yet. It smells like mint when it's fresh like this. Apparently when it's cooked, it tastes like basil. I haven't tried it, so I can't tell you, but that's what I'm told. That was just a cutting I took, but they have to be moved. It's just like any other mint variety. You don't put them in the ground because it's just trying its best to take over, and that's really going like all the way up through here. I mean, it's not going to be hard for me to pull it out because it's just in this mulch, but that needs to come out of the ground and be put in a tub. I'll be doing that next week as well. Same with its daughter over here. That'll need to be shifted. Snap peas in the hay bale experiment. I'm not excited about this hay bale gardening. Look, it's working, but what have we got here? But they just don't do as well. I mean, they produce, but not nearly as much as what I would normally get. I do have other peas in the ground, which I'll be growing a lot of peas this year. I like to pod them and freeze the pea. So yeah, well, I don't know. I'll probably, after these peas have come out, I'm thinking about turning this into one long bed with some corrugated iron or something. I like the idea of having the garden along this fence so I can have my climbing vegetables up here. It's a really high fence so that the chickens can't fly over it. So yeah, I don't know, we'll put that on the project for another day. But yeah, I'll probably knock down this hay, just squish it down a bit, chuck some compost on top of it, and just gradually turn it into keep topping it up, gradually turn it into a bed, a long bed along here. I did get some ducks. Let's see if I can zoom you in. They're new and they're pretty timid. If I go in there, they'll run under the caravan. So all three are females, crossbreds. I'm not sure what they're crossed with there. If you know your ducks, you can tell me. I haven't really had a lot of experience with ducks. So I think they're an Appleyard cross. I don't know if there's runner duck in them or not. They seem a bit upright to me, but as I said, I'm not a duck expert. And the drakes, where are they? The boys? The boys are still, but yeah, I'm surprised by having two drakes together that there hasn't been more issues. Well, there hasn't been any issues with them, actually. I didn't raise these guys. Somebody gave them to me, these boys. And they were raised with chickens. These boys think they're chickens. They hang out with the chooks. They put themselves up into the caravan with the girls, with the hens. Whereas the ducks over there, they're not quite so bonded to the chickens. They're bonded to each other. And they sleep under the caravan. So, and they're not pairing up with the drakes. But as I said, I haven't had them very long. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, anyway, back to the garden. I'm not letting the chooks out here. I don't let them out here while it's growing like this. They'll come out again when I clear it out and redo for when it's our spring. So I planted some more peas in here. I will run a trellis up through the middle. But you see, some of them didn't sow. I direct sowed these. And they didn't do as well down that end. So I do have some started in pots indoors and under the light. And I'll bring those ones out and plant them down there to top that up. Oh, awfully overgrown with weeds. Here we've got onion, garlic and spring onion planted through here. So I'm going to have to come out and be real meticulous with my weeding. Yeah, I've really got to get on top of that. That's on the jobs list. But yeah, that's the onion, garlic and spring onion. I have garlic and spring onion sort of just where it pops up voluntarily, which I'll leave it because I like the companion planting. I like onion and garlic and things like that companion planted with everything. I feel like it helps to keep pests away. You'll notice that you don't get a lot of predation on your onions and garlics, whether it's chives or bulbs. You'll notice that they don't really get the predation, especially compared to your soft-leafed plants. These are doing really well in here. What have we got over here? The capsicum that I'm overwintering. Now I still haven't covered with plastic. They're still only under the net. And I mean, they're out of season, so they're not doing a lot, but they've put some leaf on. But they're not. I don't expect them to do anything till spring. They should be dormant. I just keep. If we get a frost, they should survive as long as we don't get a heavy frost. If we get a heavy frost, then that will definitely kill them. We'll just see how they go. I have got more capsicum and pepper seeds starting. I'm starting things under the light at the moment. Try to get an earlier start on them this year and see how we go. There's nothing in here. I do actually. That's not true. I have asparagus crowns in here, straight down the middle, all the way down the middle. I put those in just a couple of weeks ago. They'll come up in the spring. I've got some garlic in the house that have sprouted, so I'll probably stick that garlic alongside of these asparagus crowns. Blueberry, not netted at the moment, doesn't need to be netted right now. It's just holding its buds. It might have a decent amount of blueberries this year. There's 2 varieties in there. I planted a second variety for it to help with, they say to help with pollination, better to have 2 or 3 together rather than just one. So we'll see again in the spring what happens there. But they got a fair amount of buds on them that they're holding on to at the moment. And as I say, we don't get much snail slug damage. these leaves closest to the ground we do. I do find in here, well, is it, I don't, you know, is it these guys? We get a lot of these. I have found amongst the mulch very small snail. They got the spiral shell. They're very, very tiny. And yeah, right there. Those guys. Get those, and I find that these, if the leaves are touching, like these are, touching the mulch, that's when they'll get hit. But if you look at the crowns, they're not getting up in there at all. It's only these bottom leaves, which I need to come in and clear off all of these leaves that are touching the bottom, touching the ground. And that will help with that. So we've got different types of cabbage in here. We've got a Savoy cabbage. What have I got in here? I don't remember actually. Got 2 different varieties of cabbage. We've got cauliflowers that they're only just starting to curl in the middle. They'll be starting to grow some heads in there soon. Just looking at the way they're curling in the centres now. Lots of broccoli. I like to freeze broccoli. This one hasn't started yet. There's more up further that has started. Of course, more silver beet. You can never grow enough greens when you've got chickens and ducks, and of course I like to eat a lot of greens as well. I like to blanch them, cook them, freeze them. Little baby broccoli just starting. And that's kale. Even though it's growing like a cabbage, it is kale. It's seed that I kept, and I'm not sure whether it was an heirloom variety or not. It might have been a hybrid, because they are growing like a cabbage in my opinion, and I didn't plant them as a cabbage. Yeah, so more silver beet. These, when I planted these, I had nets over them because when they were seedlings we had the cabbage moth around, so I had them covered. But now the moths are finished, I've taken the covers off. The broccolis, it's all broccoli. I think this one is a cauliflower. Yeah, that'll be a cauliflower. It's just thinking about doing something there in the middle. Little cauliflower. Some of these are stunted, some of them are more advanced than others. Some of them are doing really well. And then other ones are just only starting to pop. See, those guys are dwarfed by these big giants. They're not getting as much sun, I guess. But they're doing alright. They'll be later ones, which is fine. This is the giant. This is supposed to be the Ford, what do they call it? The Ford Hook Giant. But I don't think it's terribly big. The stem's quite wide, I suppose, but I don't think it's overly huge. Got some spring onions down there. That was a volunteer cherry tomato that is hanging on. I've just left it in there. What have we got over here? I've got some cabbage and Brussels sprouts over this side, if I can just get over there. Yeah, so these are, I think these are the sugarloaf cabbage. I planted some sugarloaf cabbage. That's what these are, I'm pretty certain. I did put some Brussels sprouts in, but I don't know what's happened. I thought these were the Brussels sprouts, but they're definitely not. I had trouble sprouting Brussels sprout seed, actually. It didn't come up for me very well. I'm going to have to try it again. Might try it in some paper towel or something first. Might have been some bad seed. So this is a rogue lettuce, well, a volunteer lettuce. Let me get down a bit closer. I left it in because, I don't know if you can see, a red-legged earth mite, or are they a spider mite? I'm not sure. I haven't sprayed because they're only bothering the lettuce. They're not really bothering anything else, even if they get onto these two plants that are right next to them. I don't really mind too much because I've got so much of it. But if you look, I mean, the lettuce is coping just fine with those. Well, I'm not going to eat this lettuce. I'll leave it here as a trap plant for these mites. I have had the mites before when I've had potatoes out here at the wrong season, the wrong time of year. Those mites come. But yeah, I mean, we're not having any issues with mite on anything. Oh, it's starting to spread, having said that. Spreading over here to this silver beet. I don't know, I'll keep my eye on them. See, I mean, it's not like we're short on silver beet. I have it planted everywhere. And there's no mites over this side of the patch. They just seem to be concentrated in this area where that lettuce is. I had to go up building a tunnel for the chooks so they could come from their pen and go out to the paddock, free range. But I haven't actually given them access yet because they're not, they're still learning to come into the tunnel. And I'm worried that when I let them into the paddock, they're not going to know how to come back to the tunnel to go back to their van, to their house. So I'm just a little bit hesitant to let them out just yet. We've got a very heavy fox issue around here. If they don't get locked up at night time, it'll be a disaster. Kale. Need to come and harvest all of these big leaves, and we'll let these younger ones continue to come up, grow up. Maybe that's why they're curling so tightly, because I haven't harvested enough. They could be taller than that. I'm getting tangled up here, sorry guys. Yeah, so we're a little bit away from getting our broccoli and that still. It is alright, like I said, we're slower in the winter. You guys didn't know we got some goats because we haven't had them very long either. Does, we've got 3 does. They're a miniature goat. Where are they? Supposed to be in kid, all 3 of them. They've been running with the buck before I collected them, so... Hello, miss. She wants some kale or some silver beet, but I'm not going to give her any because I've got to have to give them some hay. Too much green grass and not enough roughage for a goat in this paddock. Upsets your tummy, doesn't it, my girl? No silver beet for you. So yeah, I'll have to go to town and get them some hay. That's what she needs. Maybe some lucerne. Some roughage. Goats have to have that roughage. The other 2 are fine. It's just her. It's upset her tummy a bit. All the green grass. Wet green grass. Raspberries. These raspberries are new. This is planted them last spring. So this is their first growth. I think I'm supposed to cut those back. But these are the ones that should fruit. I'm not expecting a whole lot. It'll only be this spring. This coming season is only their first year. So not expecting a whole lot. And now we've got goats on the other side of the fence. I'm going to have to move them anyway, I think. I know, ladies. Yeah. These will love those raspberries. Yes, I might find a new home for those raspberries. Does anyone get involved in biochar? It's inoculating at the moment in here. I won't get into it now, but look it up on YouTube. Plenty of videos and why we use it in the patch on YouTube. Have a look at some videos. I'll be using that when I'm preparing the beds for spring again. I'll be putting putting this through all of the beds. It's inoculating at the moment in some, there's cow manure in there, and just some weeds. Just to, so they can uptake all that nitrogen, get all that good microbe action happening. These guys are waiting for some food. I'll pop you down here and I'll give these chickens some food. I'm soaking their grains at the moment. Let me just adjust this. Excuse me. Okay. They're getting, at the moment they're getting soaked oat and soaked wheat, or fermented if you want to call it that. I mean, it does ferment, but where are you? I just soak it till it swells. Let it swell up. Once it's swollen up and softened, it's they can digest it a lot better. Also, you don't need to feed them quite as much because they're getting more from it. Anyway, also you can look that up on YouTube. Lots of videos about fermented foods for your chooks. I've already fed them today. I've been feeding them twice a day. Just because it's so cold, I feel like they do better. Especially, I will have them locked up as well. They're not free ranging. So I'm feeding them twice a day, plus they're getting some greenery from the patch. I don't know if you can see my Brahman rooster running around. He's new as well. You see him back there, big black and white bird. He's Brahma. He's purebred Brahma. He's only young. He's not even crowing yet. But the plan is to separate him out with my Australorp highlines. There's 4 Australorp highlines in there. They're across. I'm pretty sure they're across with the Isa, the commercial layer. I know they're not true. I know they're not a purebred Australorp. Australorp's one of my favourite breeds. I've had them before. But anyway, there he is. I'll be putting him with the Australorp girls, and we'll see if we can produce our own line of meat birds. I know you can, in the US, you guys order your chicks, your meat birds, on, in the post. We can't do that in Australia. And the closest, actually it's not really something that, I think it's not a common thing, especially where I live, to get your commercial meat chooks for the hobby farmer. I have called the factories that grow them. The closest one to me is about a 4-hour drive. They don't post. They don't mail eggs or chicks. I'll have to collect them. And even then, it's not that they just don't give me the impression that it's something that they actually really do. So I thought, well, I'll get a big Brahma. Someone was selling him locally. So we'll see. He's quite big. I hope he won't be too big for the Australorp hens, but I'm sure they'll be okay. Just with him jumping on them, I don't want him squashing them. But I mean, they're a robust chook themselves. They're considered a large breed themselves, the Australorp breed. So I think they'll be okay. They're certainly bigger and more robust than the Isas. The Isas are egg layers, so they will more than likely get an egg-laying breed rooster, so we can hatch out our own egg layers as well. But look at him. He's very pretty. But he's only a baby. Very quiet. I hope he stays that way. He doesn't get aggressive. I'm told they're not an aggressive breed. The girls are a bit excited. They're making friends with those drakes. I reckon they are. I'm just a bit concerned that the drakes think that they're chickens, not ducks. But she's trying. She's trying to impress him, and he's just ignoring her. Anyway, alright, that's the update, guys. That's where we're at. And I will talk to you later.